Yo, Still Mills, what's the deal, man? Yo, I'm just now leaving, just now leaving Walmart, man. Heading back to the crib, man. We gonna go to the park today. Take my son, teach him how to run, teach him how to throw a football, catch a little bit more, man. We gonna have fun today. But peep game, man. We gotta get into some shit, man. And that's this fight from last night, man. After about after a few, a good solid 12 hours or so of reflection. You get a very, you're a little bit more concrete in your stance. You're starting to see shit that you didn't see unfold last night. You've replayed the fight in your head. You went and rewatched some highlight footage. You took into consideration what pundits and boxing scribes and insiders and other fighters had to say about what transpired last night. And you can see things a little bit clearer now in the next day, the following day. You can see things a lot clearer. Or it's just a lot more vivid. To where you're a little bit you're a little bit more relaxed in your emotion. You're not looking at it through rose-tinted lenses. You're a little bit more. You have a clearer picture of what happened last night. You have a clearer picture of what happened last night, and that's what I want to get into, man. And honestly, man, the fight, if we're being real, could have went either way. It could have went either way. Like, I wouldn't be so aggy if I didn't hear 116, 112, because I don't think either one of them won 8 rounds. I don't think that fight was too close for any of them to have won 8 rounds. Any of them. And you can't tell, it's just, that shit is ridiculous to me, man. It definitely was a tight fight. Like after a while, I stopped scoring. I was like, I can't do it, because the fight is entirely too close. It's entirely too close. And I didn't see the jab. It was dope. I didn't see too much of a jab from Devin Haney, even though we saw one. I didn't see it as prolific as we did in any other fight. But he substituted the jab for digging into that man's body. He did excellent body work last night. Excellent body work. And what was so dope, it was a seesaw effect. It was back and forth between two of them. He tapped the body. Lomachenko would counter up top. Loma would cut the angle and hook off the angle or throw it straight off of the angle, and Haney would spin out with him and check left hooking. I'm like, yo, this is really high level boxing right here. Like, that was an incredible display of boxing last night. But what bothers me the most is I just really feel like if you have to give a winner, you should have gave that to Lomachenko. I personally had it a draw. I was like, I'm not mad at a draw. But what gets to me is there was no dominant rounds in that fight except the 10th and the 11th. There was no dominant round. There was no clear winner of the rounds. The majority of those rounds were swing rounds. The majority of those rounds were swing rounds. So I'm looking at this fight and I'm like, yo, you can't convincingly tell me that Haney's winning this round or Lomachenko was winning this round except for the 10th and the 11th. And I think that right there, and you can honestly make the argument that was a 10, when he only landed 2 punches in the round, you can make it an argument that was a 10-8 round. I think it was the 10th. He dominated Haney in that round. He dominated Haney, and I think people are looking at the body work. And like he was in that man's body all night, and I'm like, yeah, he was, man. But I'm like, y'all are disregarding the times that Lomachenko split the guard with the uppercut. He landed a lot of uppercuts in that fight, and I'm just sitting here and I'm watching, and I'm like, where exactly are you getting 116, 112 from? That is a fucking abomination of a scorecard. That's a crime against humanity. There's no way you can justifiably tell me that man won 8 rounds. There's no way you can tell me Lomachenko won 8 rounds. Nobody can tell me that. Nobody. And you know, I'm not a dude who like. It's a lot of people going off of the notion that what other boxers said and all that. I'm not one of them dudes who's gonna say, well, he said it and he said it, because if you do that, then you have to take into consideration when somebody else of that ilk contradicts your stance on it. So what happens when you have a fighter, a professional fighter or a scribe or an analyst or anybody of that ilk who's saying that Devin Haney won that fight? Now you have to take their opinion into consideration as well. So I don't too much go off of where, the he said, she said thing. I use my own eyes and I use, my ability to unpack a fight, even though their level of expertise far exceeds mine. But if you can't have it both ways. If you're going to use theirs when they're in agreement with you, you got to use the ones who are contradictory of your claim as well. But it is something to say when you have a multitude of people who are saying he won that fight. And everybody points to Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson came into the ring and said, Lomachenko should be undisputed right now. And this is wild considering the fact that he was like, he's going to smoke Lomachenko. Haney is going to smoke Lomachenko. You looking at all, like, everybody is like, yo, Loma won that fight. He won that fight. Do I think it was a robbery in the sense of like, yeah and no. And why do I say yeah and no? Because 116, 112 is definitely a robbery. That is definitely a robbery right there. That is like, yo, how the fuck do you give Haney round 10? How the fuck do you do that in good spirit? There's no way you could justify that. That shit was asinine right there. That was like, yo, are you even trying? Are you, what fight are you out? You got beer goggles on watching this shit, bro. We gonna need to do a sobriety test on that nigga. Like, and these judges need to be called out and brung to the line. I would have tripped if Lomachenko got the benefit of the doubt for 116, 112, because neither one of them won 8 rounds. And this is what I mean when it comes to corruption and just it's so fucking disgusting and egregious. These dudes go through their lives putting their body through rigorous torment and putting their life on the line to entertain us and feed their family just for some bitch ass nigga who ain't probably ever even threw on a pair of gloves or took a shot on the chin to woo him in a fucking fight. Like, you could tell he was in his emotions and he didn't want after the fight, he didn't want to be the sore loser. Because he didn't want to be the sore loser and say, speak disparities to Devin Haney. Well, he was like, we're not going to talk about that right now. Like, we're not going to talk about that right now. We're not going to talk about that right now. But they just kept pressing the issue and kept asking him. And the dude was like, he's not a pound for pound. He's not a pound for pound fighter. Like, he's not a pound for pound. Now, do I agree with that? No, because no non-pound for pound caliber fighter is going to beat Lomachenko. I get people, people get in their face. Manny Pacquiao was a dude who, most people don't take losses fair, especially when in a fight. Because you got in a fight, my nigga, like, if motherfucker talking too greasy to you, well, shut then, nigga, I'll beat your ass. That's the ultimate form of, like, I'm better than you right there. Like, all right, cool, you funnier than me, but I'll beat your ass, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? And to lose a fight, physical confrontation, it's a sore spot, because it's like, what else can you do after that? What else can you do? So I get when fighters go in there and feel some type of way. Manny Pacquiao, man, I think I won the fight. He didn't do nothing. We all know that was a lie, but I understand where it comes from, bro. When he lost to Ugas, man, please, it was like, yo, this is one of the worst dudes I've ever lost to in my life. Fuck no. I can't accept that. I get it. I honestly get it. I most definitely get it. But I don't agree with it, though. I do think Devin Haney, as right now, is a pound-for-pound caliber talent. For him to beat Lomachenko, yes. He's definitely a pound-for-pound caliber talent. But I just think, I just think that was an egregious scorecard, man. And I just can't get over the fact that you would score somebody. 116, 112 was a wide scorecard. It was wide, bro. Like, you can't definitively excuse this type of scorecard. That is terrible. That is terrible right there. That is terrible, man. It bothers me when I see that shit, man. It bothers me. But you do have to go, you know, in some cases you do have to listen to the, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because I'm my own man. I'm my own man. You know, when Chris Colbert beat Ryo, I understood it. I'm like, it makes sense. It made sense. It did. People get caught. They get lost and caught up in what's going on early on in the fight. He got dropped in the first round. The first, 10, 15 seconds he was on the canvas. Ryo did good work after that, but he started slowing down, and Chris Colbert was able to, he was finding a home for them straight shots, and he was countering effectively. So I got that. In this fight right here, man, it's like, I'm like, yo, bro, I don't know, bro. It just isn't really, it really isn't sitting well with me, man. It really isn't sitting well with me. And Tim Bradley made a point, like, he has to, what do you do after that? You know what I'm saying? Because Tim Bradley, he was the perfect candidate to speak on what happened, how the crowd was taken to Devin Haney. He was the perfect candidate to speak on that. Why? Because he was there when he was that dude when he beat Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people still haven't given Tim Bradley for beating Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people feel that Tim Bradley lost that fight. They felt like he lost that fight, and I do think he lost that fight. I don't even think that was a draw. I thought Tim Bradley clearly lost that fight. So he was the perfect candidate to speak on that, man. Like, you're hearing the boos. What do you do when you go back to, like, even how he left the arena, like, this is his hometown. Not his hometown, but this is where he lives at. Shit, man, Caleb Plant had more support fighting David Benavidez because he lives in Las Vegas. And he was fighting a Mexican. The Mexicans is deep over there in Vegas. Devin Haney goes in there. Now, granted, he did, he made his bed. He has to lay in it. And I was never mad at him for pushing Lomachenko like that. It's a fight. I said what I said about that yesterday. Oh, I haven't uploaded the video yet, but I didn't see anything wrong with it, man. But at this point, that did turn him into the bad guy, because that's just not Lomachenko's character. To get out there and get all extra'd out and shit. But he pushed it. He set the tempo of the fight. I saw no issue with that. But the flip side of that is, now when you do that to somebody who's a pound for pound darling, and just a darling in the hearts of the fans and scribes and pugnates and shit like that, you got to be prepared for the backlash, the blowback. And so he walked into a lion's den, and kudos to the young man for holding his own, because he definitely held his own. He went in there, he was prepared. He didn't fight off of the back foot as much as I thought he would. He pressed the issue. He put his weight on Lomachenko, and it paid dividends for him on paper. So I got you got to salute that, man. But I said something last night while the fight was going on. I was like, man, Lomachenko win or lose, he needs to retire, because he just, he didn't look as sharp in there tonight. And I'm thinking to myself, because I'm still in the mind frame that Lomachenko is just, blowout better than this kid. And I'm like, Devin Haney is actually an incredible boxer. He's an incredible boxer. So he was able to go in there and neutralize a lot of the shit that Lomachenko normally capitalizes on. I mean, even when he started punching off angles with Teofimo Lopez looked like a deer in the headlights. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I go back and I think about it, and I'm like, well, maybe he doesn't need to retire. He still showed himself to be one of the top 3 dogs in the division with that performance. He showed himself to be a top 3 fighter in the division. Still. For him to be able to do that and hold his own and, go against, the bigger man and all that, and make those adjustments on the fly, and just at 35, 36 years old, like, you don't need to retire. You don't need to retire. He looked great in there last night. We got, he looked great. He did, them body shots. I just don't understand why it took him so long to start countering the body shots. That's what was really blowing me, because I'm like, yo, you're letting him tap you in the body. and you didn't have enough energy come the 12th round because of the body shots. Why are you letting them just tap the body willy-nilly like that? That was blowing me. Like, damn, kid, like, come on, man. You gotta counter those body shots, man. Shoot the uppercuts up the middle. Shoot the uppercuts. Shoot the uppercuts. Shoot them. So he didn't start doing that till late, late in the fight, the later rounds. And I'm, I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But yeah, man, I'm in my feelings. I'm not even gonna cap, bro, because I mean, just the dude, and not just because, just it's a lot of people talking greasy about Lomachenko going in the back room and crying and all that. They got all they memes, and this is why it's like, yo, it's one-way traffic when it comes to these cats, man. It's one-way traffic. What was y'all feelings when Jermell Charlo cried during the press conference in front of everybody? Went back to the locker room, cried at the presser, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your, do you still feel, it's not funny? You know what I'm saying? I didn't, there's a lot of people who had a lot of jokes to say about Jermell Charlo. I never thought that shit was funny, because these dudes are competitors, dog. It's no different from when Kobe or Kevin Durant or Joel Embiid or any of these niggas go in the back room and cry in their mom's arms after they lose, after they come up short in the finals, or they get to the conference finals and get knocked off, or they go and they cry in the arms of their wives or their girlfriends or whatever. These are competitors, man, and that goes to show the level of competitive fervor that resides within them, man. They want to be remembered as the best. They want to win. I don't see how that's funny. I don't see how that's funny at all. Like, you care about this shit. You touch that much to where you lost, nigga. That's gonna vex this dude for up until he fights again. I just don't see how that's funny. That's just me. Motherfuckers got all they jokes, and people hate Lomachenko as is. So it's all fun and games with him. But it's like, all right, cool. Well, now how you feel about Jermell Charlo crying? Is he a crybaby? Because the level of if we want to talk about sore loser shit, the level we saw in him after he lost to Tony Harrison, he didn't accept that. He didn't accept that. He did not accept that. He did not accept that. He discredited that man's win and everything. So when are we gonna keep the same energy, man? Like these, it gets to a point where it just reaches a level of childishness, man. Like y'all niggas, y'all not good at nothing. Y'all have never competed at nothing, and so losing doesn't bother you because you don't want to be good in anything. You dig? In any aspect, and I don't give a fuck if it's video games, bro. If you lose, you mad. If you losing something, you mad, and somebody can hold that shit over your head, you beefing, bro. Now imagine it's on your debut pay-per-view. This is all you've worked for your entire career just to come up short like this and get jaded on the cards, sit 116, 112. That's like, wow. And I think that's what's bothering more so than anything. Maybe the fucking, maybe if it was a split decision and it was, 7-5 or whatever. All right, bro. That's a little bit easier of a pill to swallow. But 116, nah, dog. Nah. Like, honestly, man, I think if Haney wants any support, because this isn't gonna be like how Floyd was, where he embraces the bad guy role, and that's what's selling him. He's doing multiple successful pay-per-views off of him being the bad guy. I don't think that's gonna be the case with Devin Haney. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. So to endear himself to the, not even to the fans, to the fans, he should run that back, bro. He should run that back. And the fact that they're even protesting this as hard as they are, I think they're gonna fuck around and tell him, you ain't got no other choice but to run that back. You have to run that back. Because that was, I'm not mad at him winning, even though I had Lomachenko winning or a draw. the fight could have went either way, but it's just, yo, it 116, 112 is just something that I can't get over. And I don't think anybody else is going to be able to get over it. So, I mean, how do you go and you make that right? You say, all right, I'm going to beat your ass far more convincingly this time. And that fight, I feel, is worthy of a rematch. That fight, I feel, is worthy of a rematch. That could be a potential, maybe not trilogy, but a rivalry. This late in Lomachenko's career, this early in Devin Haney's career, that's a dope rivalry. That ain't goddamn Eric Morales and Danny Garcia. Nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. Lomachenko was still sharp in there, extremely sharp. So I think he's gonna have, like, I think we need that back, bro. I definitely need that. We need that back. We definitely need that back. Lomachenko is a dude who's you know, he wanted that back with Teofimo. Teofimo said, yo, I'm outie. He wanted that back with Orlando Salido. Orlando Salido said, no, I'm outie. Now, if Devin Haney says I'm moving up, yo, all right, there's nothing he can do about that. But if you're gonna sit there, if you're gonna make a couple of more title defenses, they need to be against Lomachenko. And then Shakur. And then Shakur. If you beat Lomachenko again, if you run it back. But yeah, man, that's just how I'm feeling about it, man. I can't get over 112, 116, 112. That shit was that was an abomination right there, man. And you do have to listen to the energy of the people. You definitely do. And you still have to use your own personal critical thinking skills as well. It's wild. I'm going on boxing forums. And, you know, on forums that usually push an agenda as it pertains to black nationalism. Black nationalism in boxing. The black man, FBA this, FBA that. They're even saying Devin Haney lost that fight. And I've seen that more than once. It's one dude in particular that I'm always at odds with. This nigga done called me a coon and all type of shit, and we always had our clashes. And he's on there saying Devin Haney lost that fight. And this is a nigga who was swearing up and down Devin Haney was going to win that fight. He's better than Lomachenko. He has the better footwork. He has the better this and that and the third and yada, 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 yada. He's even on there saying he lost that fight. That is wild to me, bro. I'm not saying you have to take that and run with it, but you do have to take that into consideration. The energy of the people. You have to take that into consideration as well. And say, yo, man, yeah, hey, all right, man, we may have to go re-look at this. You have to do that. It should not be that many people saying that this dude lost that fight. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Damn. It shouldn't be that many people saying that he lost his fight. Shouldn't be that many people. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I think Youngin has to run that back. Youngin has to run that back. And like I said, this could potentially be a dope rivalry. This could be a dope rivalry. Lomachenko is not no dude who likes to give credit. Like, nah, bro. Like, that man is not a pound for pound caliber talent. You can see in his face it just bothered him. Like, yo, really, y'all gonna do me like this? Y'all gonna do me like this? He's pissed. He is pissed. As he should be. Because neither one of them dudes won 8 rounds and lost 4. Neither one of them. Oh my God, man. Shout out to Devin Haney. Shout out to Devin Haney. Congrats. You won. But you gotta run that back, bro. You honestly do. Okay, I thought they left. That can't sit right within your spirit, bro. Even after the fight, how you pieced out all fast, you left the ring or you went back there. That has to bother you. That has to bother you, bro. So go do what you need to do to run that back. Whew. Hold your head up, Lomachenko. And congrats to Devin Haney. Deuces.